gentle pace of life, the traditional yellow taxis and slow-moving tram service give a distinct character to the city. The humble Rasgulla and the heavenly Sandesh have carried the sweetness of Bengali culture to the farthest corners of the nation and the world. Kolkata is an important hub of trade and commerce. The iconic Howrah Bridge is the most recognizable symbol of Kolkata and Bengal and an important lifeline for the people in the city. Located right under the southeast end of Howrah Bridge is a 130-year-old flower market. It is one of the biggest.
This is live from New Delhi. You're watching DT India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Sakal Bhatt, and coming up in the next hour. BJP consolidates leads in Haryana, goes past the majority marks. Congress trails while Jananayak Janata Party and Aam Aadmi Party stares at a blank. In Jammu Kashmir, JKNC National Conference and Congress combined stare ahead. BJP emerges as second largest party. PDP relegated to fourth position. Memorials mark the anniversary of the Hamas attacks in Israel as fighting intensifies in West Asia. And U.S. state of Florida braces for Hurricane Milton. Locals told to follow evacuation orders. And European Space Agency launches a spacecraft to investigate an asteroid already rammed up by US Space Agency NASA. It will test whether small planets can be deflected from a collision course with Earth. Well, after a high-octane election campaign in the North Indian state of Haryana and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, today is the verdict day for both one state and one Union Territory, and we are tracking the results very, very closely. Well, at the top of the show, we're just getting some breaking news from the state of Haryana, where the incumbent Bharatiya Janata Party continues to consolidate its leads in the state of Haryana. Already they have crossed the halfway mark. Congress relegated to second position. Remember, the principal opposition Congress there has not been able to come back to power. There were 90 seats in the fray, where incumbent government of the Bharatiya Janata Party was, despite battling heavy anti-incumbency, has managed to retain power, making history of sorts for third consecutive term. In fact, the other big news coming in from Haryana is also that BJP has already crossed the majority mark, more than halfway mark. And shifting focus to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, where the regional powerhouse National Conference is leading in the Kashmir region, and BJP has emerged as the second largest party. The breaking news of Haryana on your screens, where trends indicate that in Haryana it is BJP at the pole positions. Could it be a third straight win for the BJP in the North Indian state of Haryana? Remember, 90 seats, 46 was the halfway mark, and they have grabbed, remember, these are the leads, more than 46. If we could have the tables and leading candidates on our screen, please. So Mohammad Ilyas from Haryana is leading, showing. Bhupender Singh Hooda, top magnate in Haryana, has also grabbed his seat from Ghari Sambla in Kiloi. Besides that, from Fatehabad constituency, Doordarshan of the BJP. These are the winning candidates of the BJP, which seems to be sitting comfortably on a huge win, riding on a high mandate, with Arjun Chautala from Rania, Haryana also leading. Uday Bhan from Hodal region in Haryana defeating the Congress rival. These are the key candidates in North Indian state of Aditya Surjewala. Also fighting from Katahal in Haryana is leading there from the Congress seat, and from INLD trailing behind is Abhay Singh Chautala, the name to reckon with in the Haryana politics. This time INLD partnered with the BSP. Bhavya Bishnoi contesting on the BJP ticket, leading from Adampur constituency, while top wrestler, star wrestler Vinesh Phogat leading in Julana seat on the Congress ticket. Also on the BJP ticket, Shruti Chaudhary from Toshan seat is leading. These are some prominent candidates from both parties, Congress and the BJP. From Badli seat, BJP candidate Om Prakash Dhankar is trailing from the Badli seat, and also Ranjit Singh from the IND party is trailing there in Rania seat. Sunil Satpal Sangwan is also leading from the Dadri seat in Haryana, the BJP. Now let's shift focus to Jammu Kashmir, where from Jammu North, BJP's candidate leading, then Balwant Singh Mankotia leading from Channi Himmat in Jammu on the BJP ticket. Also from Jammu Kashmir, Pawan Khajuria from Udhampur seat, Udhampur a key seat in Jammu Kashmir, is leading, and Ghulam Ahmad Mir from Duru in Jammu Kashmir on the Congress ticket is leading. Well, remember, it's a national conference getting the maximum chunk of leads. Congress following suit. Javed Iqbal from Budhal seat of national conference also leading. Former Deputy Chief Minister Chaudhry Lal Singh from, in fact, he's trailing from the Bishnoi seat in Jammu, and Ajay Kumar Sadhotra trailing. She's a national conference candidate from Jammu North, and former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah leading from Badgam seat. Clear lead in both constituencies, Badgam and Gandarbal. Manohar Lal Sharma from Bilawar seat on the Congress ticket is trailing behind. Continuing to focus on key candidates from Jammu Kashmir, Vikar Rasoolwani from Banihal seat is trailing on the Congress ticket. Congress not doing well in these elections. Now, Iltija Mufti, star candidate of the PDP and daughter of Mehbooba Mufti, is trailing on PDP from her constituency. Former Cabinet Minister and former Lok Sabha member Tariq Hamid Kara is trailing there. So it's okay. Iltija is leading from Singhwara Brijbehara seat. This is a PDP's traditional bastion, and Tariq Hamid Kara from the Congress party is leading from his constituency. Advocate Abdul Rahim Rathar is leading on the National Conference ticket from Charare Sharif, while Shakti Raj Parihar, Doda, a key seat, there the BJP candidate seems to be trailing as of now. As we continue to go to the reporters also and stay with these candidates from Padar in Kishtwar, BJP seems to be maintaining a lead there. Siddharth joining us from Panchkula, and we are also going to our newsroom, I believe, from where... Okay, we're going to Siddharth first as far as Haryana is concerned. So, Siddharth, as of now, the big news is coming from where you're reporting, from Haryana, that it seems to be as of now, as we wait for the leads to convert into wins and losses for both parties, BJP seems to be all set for the third consecutive term.
Definitely, Sakal, you're absolutely right. And I was also mentioning a while back that tables have turned certainly from the time the counting started, and now that we are seeing these trends, as far as I could see, the BJP is leading on 49 seats, and that's way beyond the majority mark, which is 46 in the 90-member constituency assembly. And it certainly seems like they are all set for a hat-trick since in the morning when when the counting started. It was someone looking like the Congress had an upper edge when it comes to the countings. But yeah, now we could certainly say that if these trends go in the same stream as they are going right now, and BJP is all set to make its government and all set to return in the state for the third time, the exit polls which were claiming something else, and you also know, Sakal, that exit polls play a pivotal role, when it comes to the mindset of people, and it certainly has changed now. And They have defined the exit polls. Right now, they're leading on 49 seats, and like I said, in few hours, maybe in couple of hours, we'll get to know the clearer picture from on who's going to make the government here in Haryana. But this certainly goes on to show, Sakal, that the work BJP claims that the work which is done by them in the state in the past 10 years in several fields, Sakal, in the field of education, in the field of health, in the field of women empowerment, in the field of sport, has certainly became fruitful. And in fact, in their manifesto, which they released just before the assembly elections, they promised several things, from health sector to sport to road infrastructure and many more things. And certainly feels like that people's mandate will be in BJP's favor as far the trends are going right now. Also, like I said, that in couple of hours we'll get to know that who will be making government. But certainly it seems like that the BJP is the front runner to make the government in Haryana for the third time.
And interestingly, Aam Aadmi Party has not even managed.
And one thing which I want to add here, Sakal, is that in 2019, Sakal, they needed the outside support because they couldn't manage to get the majority mark. They only could garner 40 seats, and they had to take the support of JJP MLAs, 10 JJP MLAs.
Yes, 10 MLAs.
The coalition on the same party was broken just before the Lok Sabha polls, but this time around it certainly feels like that the BJP on their own will form the government in Haryana like they did in 2014 when they garnered 47 seats.
True. In fact, since you mentioned JJP, Siddharth, a quick one now. JJP, interestingly and shockingly, haven't even managed to open their account, even in terms of leads. And so also Aam Aadmi Party, where they decided to go solo, and INLD, in fact, partnering with the BSP, are just leading leading on one seat. Siddharth, I'll request you to stay with us as I also welcome Shabir Dar, a senior editor from our Jammu Kashmir bureau, joining us from Srinagar. Shabir, thank you for joining, and also very glad to have on this special broadcast senior journalist, veteran journalist who's covered many assembly elections. I've lost the count, sir. Shekhar Iyer. Thank you very much, Shekhar sir. Shekhar sir, I would like to first go to our reporters because to get a sense of ground situation. Shabir, are we really surprised for the national conference? And I think the biggest news from the national conference is the relegation or the decimation of the PDP.
Yeah, definitely it is a big day for the national conference. As the exit polls were suggesting that the national conference is going to get these numbers, and surprisingly, because it is surprisingly that no political analyst was expecting that national conference and Congress alliance would be able to get the the mandate of the people to form the government, because the trends are suggesting that national conference is getting over 40 seats, and and the Congress are about to get 8 to 9 seats. So that means that in the 90-member assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, where the majority mark is 46, and after the delimitation, the lieutenant governor has the power to nominate 5 members who have the voting rights. So it is a 95-member assembly where the majority mark would be 48, and national conference and Congress alliance are getting that number on their own, which means that the power will be shared by national conference and Congress, who may not require any support from any political party, because PDP, as we know, were claiming that they would emerge as the kingmakers. They are expecting to get anything between 5 to 10 seats. But as the trends are suggesting that PDP has a decimation, they are going well beyond their expectations. And it is definitely the national conference day, because they have been able to connect with the electorate in Kashmir particularly, and in Jammu region also, because Congress and National Conference are making their presence felt in Jammu, where BJP definitely has upper hand, because they are able to get the lead in about 30 seats. But as we know that lot has changed in Kashmir since 2019, and this election is the first election of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir post 2019, and we know that lot of development has happened, be it on the be the roads, hospitals, and other sectors, particularly on the security and peace sector, because there has been a lot of improvement in the security situation. And it is dividend has definitely been the, people have got the dividends of the peace in Jammu and Kashmir. And we were expecting that BJP will be able to connect with the electorate in Kashmir, given the fact that a lot of development was, has taken place in Kashmir. But it is the National Conference which, which are able to outnumber the BJP.
Yeah, I think the comparison, Shabir, I think the comparison is not really fair. I would want Shekhar sir to comment on it, as I also welcome Tahir on this broadcast, joining us from Doda. Shekhar sir, your take. Shabir has raised a very pertinent point. Now, is this comparison really fair? Now, we are looking at PDP and National Conference, these regional powerhouses who have been at the helm for decades, and then you have BJP who has been riding high on a development plank, particularly the fruits of which have been absolutely visible on ground in the valley. There is absolutely no denying the fact, but then considering the limited number of seats they have been contesting and considering their candidates in Jammu have been consistent, at least that Jammu being their bastion. So really comparing National Conference and the likes of the BJP would not be fair when we talk about the political arithmetic in Kashmir region particularly.
Shakal, you are right, but at the same time, we must remember, BJP was looking at its performance in Kashmir Valley not exactly in terms of endorsement of anything, because the developmental model that has been followed in Jammu Kashmir shows the Prime Minister's commitment to see that whatever was standing in the way of full-fledged development of the Jammu and Kashmir has been fully energized, and all those hurdles have been removed. Now, for the most surprising aspect of this election is National Conference has actually revived itself, and Congress has benefited from this alliance. And the fact that National Conference managed to, wrap up a bit of emotional content by way of its talking about Article 370, which everybody knows is not going to come back. That is a thing of the past. But wherever it was necessary, an emotional yay was given. Now, the people of the valley want governance. You see, they have also rejected a number of independents who are contesting this election, because people are seeing that compared to all of them, perhaps National Conference would be in a better position to deliver on the ground. Because I will still maintain the victory of National Conference and the Congress alliance is also an expression of people of the valley saying that they want good governance. And they feel perhaps National Conference will be in a position to deliver better than compared to others. And the surprise of this election is, in fact, despite the fact that you had parties headed by Engineer Rashid, who was released from jail to campaign, and also some independents being backed by Jamaat, still the people of the valley are very careful in choosing their MLAs, because I think overall thing which the people have seen in the last 5 years is that the developmental path that the Jammu Kashmir has now undertaken, that path should go unhindered. But at the same time, there is an inherent message in this, that emotional issues are good for the time of elections. But it enjoins a great responsibility upon National Conference leadership to focus on governance, and no point in reverting back to the political issues that had dominated the previous decades. Focusing on getting the best deal that is possible with the help of the center for the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Shekhar sir, yes, Shekhar sir, in fact, you look at what has happened to PDP. Now, there were many firsts in these polls. The Jamaat, which used to ban polling, and there was this fair psychosis amongst the electorate also in these South Kashmir bastions, have openly come out and backed candidates and rather contesting also. You used to have separatism impacting the voter turnout 10 years ago. This time, separatist is a thing of past, and some of them have also joined the mainstream. They're contesting. Trends tell me that there are 10 independents who are leading. I mean, we'll have to see whether they will be of any consequences in these polls or not. But what has not cut ice with the principal opposition? Well, they were ruling earlier in 2014 with the BJP. I'm talking about PDP. They're not even fit to sit in the opposition this time. So I think there is a larger message there. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. You know, the PDP, after the collapse of the previous arrangement with the BJP, then subsequently PDP embarking on an extremist position on major issues. And consequently, you saw PDP almost speaking the language of separatists and even terrorists in a bid to work on the emotional issues. That has not been really appreciated because some kind of moderation was necessary. And PDP leader Mehbooba Mufti, I think, failed to give that moderation because without appreciating the changed circumstances, I think PDP kept on hoping that those who still harbor the hope of
I'm getting some breaking news here. I would like to turn to Shabir for that. Iltija Mufti, daughter of Mehbooba Mufti, the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, which was fronting and representing her party, has conceded defeat. Can we have some reaction from Kashmir? In fact, let me go across to Tahir and then I'm going to come to you, Dibendu from BJP headquarters. Tahir, well, the verdict is against PDP and the verdict against Iltija Mufti, making her political debut, but then she's left with no choice but to accept the verdict with some grace. How do you see this, Tahir?
Well, Sakal, this was expected because people, the way she was campaigning and people were coming, the numbers were not so big. And although some analysts were expecting that PDP will perform better than expected, but people verdict was clearly against them. As I said earlier, the way they still think, people of Kashmir Valley especially, they think that PDP was instrumental in abrogation of Article 370 and truncation of state into 2 union territories. That thing, I think people have not forgotten, and that is why
BJP losing from their comfortable bastion, Brij Bihara. This used to be Mehbooba's home ground for Muftis, rather, for the Mufti family. For her father and Mehbooba Mufti and now daughter coming out as a loser. I think there's a larger message, Tahir.
Obviously, this is a very larger message because people have said clearly sent the message across the country and in international fora as well. They want peace, they want development, they want local issues to be reasoned. They, as said by our panelists, that Article 370 is the thing of the past. You can't rake up that. And people, as I said, people were thinking that PDP, who was instrumental, who was there in power when this article abrogated, now he is talking all the time against that Article 370 and this restoration of statehood. That thing didn't go well with the voters, and that is what they have shown. And most importantly, Sakal, one more thing, BJP is performing better in Jammu province, but one thing that is that the stalwarts are those who are holding positions in BJP, they are not that faring that well, because right now the BJP's state president Ravinder Rana is trailing from Naushara, its vice president Shakti Raj Parihar is trailing from Doda West, and its General Secretary Sunil Sharma is trailing from Padar Nagseni in district Kishtwar. In comparison to that, the first timer, Gajay Singh Rana from Doda, he is ahead of his contemporaries. He is performing better, and the first timer, the Shagun Parihar from Kishtwar, she has also maintained a lead of, although it is very narrow lead, around 2,000, but yes, that is, she has still maintained the lead. Yes.
Yeah, Tahir, yes, just hold your thought. Let me quickly take this perspective to Shabir joining us. Shabir, Iltija Mufti has conceded defeat. She's left with no choice. But PDP losing Brij Bihara is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge, for the PDP, and it is a clear message of the people for the PDP that the remark of the Mehbooba Mufti, when she was the chief minister of the Toffee Milk, has not gone away from the people's minds. And PDP has made a mistake in Bijbehara, because they had a stalwart in Bijbehara, Mr. Abdul Rahman Viri, who has won twice from that seat. It was Mehbooba who shifted him to another constituency to make way clear for her daughter's debut. So yeah, definitely it is a big message for not only for the PDP but for the Mehbooba, because people of Kashmir giving rousing mandate to national conference and sidelining and decimating in a way PDP is definitely that her alliance with the BJP in past and the remarks coffee and milk remarks are still fresh in people's minds.
Shabir, a quick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, finish your sentence.
I'm saying that, we have seen lot of youth participating in these elections, and in Bijbehara also, when I was there to cover the campaigns of Iltija and her, competitor, Mr. Bashir Viri from National Conference. I was saying that youth had, a sort of disaffection with PDP because they were not able, they were again and again bringing their past alliances and the remarks. So youth have played a big role in these elections and in Bijbehara also, and in South Kashmir. We have seen that the elections are happening for the first time after 10 years, and there's enthusiasm and hope in people that they need their government at place in Jammu and Kashmir to get their redressal of their issues, and they are seeing national conference as the hope, as mandate. Justice.
Yeah, Shabir, quickly, and after this I will go to Dibendu and Shekharji. How do you see Congress now? I mean, they are the pre-poll and post-poll partners of National Conference, but considering the number of seats they were contesting in Kashmir, out of which they've only managed leads in 9. I mean, it's not that great showing. I mean, they may be partnering the coalition with the National Conference, but individually the party which has given stalwarts like Ghulam Nabi Azad, the former chief minister from the Congress earlier, and now just managing leads on 9.
We know that the Congress's main competitor is BJP in Jammu, because Congress would be expected to have performed better in Jammu, because in Kashmir they have only few seats. Like in Srinagar, Tariq Ahmed Kara, the current PCC president is leading, and we have in Uri Mr. Taj Muhyiddin, who has defected from Congress. He is contesting. So in Kashmir, some of their candidates got defected to Ghulam Nabi Azad, or they left the party. So traditionally Congress would have anything between 10 to 15 or 20 seats, and majority of those number would come from Jammu. But this time the BJP has in a way outnumbered Congress in Jammu, but in Kashmir they will be able to retain 2 to 3 seats in Kashmir, which is not bad for Congress, because if they are able to get 3 seats in Kashmir, that is good. But their major loss is in Jammu, where BJP is their main competitor.
Absolutely. Shekhar sir, would you like to come in here? Congress is showing in Jammu Kashmir, the same state, erstwhile state rather, where they were hands in glove with the power center.
Shakil, the first sign of Congress not performing up to the mark actually came from National Conference itself. Umar Abdullah was quite disappointed. He did not even mince words that Congress had not given the fight that it was expected to give in Jammu. There was a lot of complaints about selection of candidates, and there was also complaints about strong candidates not being chosen from the right constituencies. And apart from the fact that BJP has traditionally held ground in Jammu, but after the developments since 2019, there was also a lot of feeling that the BJP could have done much more, that it had not kept up all the promises. This kind of rumblings were there, but Congress was not in a position to take advantage of those rumblings to ensure that in terms of electoral dividend, the Congress could benefit. So largely, I see a picture where there has been a lot of mismanagement in terms of campaigning and selection of candidates, and also the fact that Rahul Gandhi did not do any campaign in Jammu. That also we saw. Last minute, I think Priyanka Gandhi went there. So somewhere along, which was their stronghold, I think they were not paying much attention. And Umar Abdullah was right. He said Congress could have done much more, and he did not even mince words that he was disappointed. So therefore, what we are seeing today, if Congress has not been able to put up a good fight against BJP in Jammu, I don't think anyone is surprised. As far as the Valley is concerned, well, Congress was entirely dependent on National Conference, because there were certain issues in which Congress chose silence, for instance, about the Article 370.
Right.
Congress thought it was wise to remain silent on these issues because of repercussion in other parts of the country. So you can see the Congress had difficulty in this, but overall the message that is coming across is, look, that National Conference has a very big responsibility, and Congress, being now a partner, will have to do its bit in terms of governance issues, and also I think a time has come. It enjoins upon everyone in the Jammu Kashmir that if the state has to get back its full-fledged statehood and other things, the political issues that dominated during the campaign will have to take a back seat, and the way forward is to ensure peace so that development is faster. I think people are really concerned, whatever they wanted to express on emotional and political issues, they have expressed.
Correct.
Now what we will look forward is the government that comes, that takes charge, is really concerned about fighting corruption and also, paying attention to those areas. So even this time, Shakal, you heard many people saying in the valley, look, lot of things happened under the central rule here, but we wanted much more. Yes, we were disturbed by certain developments post 2019, but at the same time, we are happy that elections have taken place. Our representatives will be heading this government. They will become ministers.
Right.
They will be MLAs, and they will take up our problems. So I think National Conference leadership must also realize, not waste its energy on simply, getting into political tussles with the BJP at the center. Rather focus on trying to get the best out of central assistance and seeing that the record of their governance is not repeated, and they focus more on ensuring that people really get the government that they are desiring now.
Absolutely, yes. Shekhar sir, please stay with us and also requesting our reporters. We have some breaking news now coming in. We're shifting focus from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to the North Indian state of Haryana, the heartland. BJP has maintained a clear and absolute majority, leading at 49. In fact, they've crossed the magic figure of 46 comfortably, leading at 49 seats. They've made gains as reports come in 9 seats in the North Indian state of Haryana. As we stay with this breaking, my colleague Dibendu Mondal joins us from BJP headquarters in New Delhi. Well, it seems, Dibendu, if you can hear me, BJP is set to make a record of sorts, retaining power in the third consecutive term, and with that, Congress stays out of power for more than a decade. Now, the thing is that it's not only about reaching magic figure, it's about beyond. They've comfortably crossed 46, and also contrary to all the predictions made by the exit polls.
Well, Sakal, that's absolutely right. The figures that we were seeing early in the morning at about 9 a.m., it has completely turned around. And, the BJP is now comfortably getting at least 4 seats way past the halfway mark. And this is indeed historic in a sense because this is for the first time that a particular party is coming to power in Haryana for the 3rd straight term. So, of course, there are many reasons for the BJP to celebrate because it's not Haryana.
Let's try and reconnect with Dibendu. There seems to be a bit of a technical... Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Dibendu. Please go ahead.
Sakal, I was saying that this is not just historic in a sense that the BJP is coming to power for the 3rd time in Haryana, but also of the fact that, it is coming with a larger mandate than it had got in 2019. So, of course, there are many reasons for the BJP to celebrate here in Haryana as well as in the headquarters in New Delhi where I am. There were muted responses coming in from the BJP leaders since morning, but then now they have started to prepare for meetings, etc., because, they need to select the chief minister. And also, we are hearing that JP Nadda could huddle into a meeting with the senior leaders and in charges of Haryana, which includes Dharmendra Pradhan as well as Biplab Dev, which is the former CM of Tripura, and both these leaders were in charge of the BJP in Haryana. So, of course, meetings will take place with the BJP National President JP Nadda, and of course, there are many reasons for BJP to celebrate because this is indeed historic. All the exit polls that predicted a clean sweep for the Congress has gone down to the wire because, of course, the exit polls numbers are not holding up when the actual EVMs have been opening since morning. But, the Congress that was perhaps trying to celebrate in the morning have gone mute is what we are given to understand from our colleagues in the Congress headquarters as well. But here at the BJP headquarters, yes, celebrations have still not begun. I think the BJP leaders are trading with caution because given the fact that at about 9 a.m. the results were something different, they are waiting till about 12:30 before they can perhaps call it a day. And the numbers, if the numbers hold as it is now.
Dibyendu, stay with us. Now, a quick analysis, a comparison of 2019 to 2024, particularly for the BJP. 40 is what they managed at the end. But remember, they needed an outside support of 10 MLAs, which they comfortably managed. But this time, they're on their own, beating the so-called anti-incumbency. I mean, you have been in power for good 10 years. Now, this has been the straight contest between the Congress and the BJP post-Lok Sabha polls. Many say, in fact, the narrative would be set for the next states that are going to go to polls, particularly critical states like Maharashtra. This has been a crucial election for both parties in Haryana, setting the tone for the rest. Dibyendu, and then same question to Shekhar sir. Yes, Dibyendu.
Well, Sakal, that's right. The results, many in the BJP, I'll be honest, that who I were in touch with and speaking off the record earlier when the elections were being held, they were also not confident that they would cross the halfway mark as easily as it is being shown on the result. So, of course, it has come as a surprise to many BJP leaders as well. And, of course, the BJP cadre and the BJP leaders will go for the Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections slated for later this year, which is in November, also. Perhaps by the end of November or early weeks of December.
Yeah.
Sakal, I could not, I was not able to
stay with
you.
us. We will fix that line, Dibyendu, but please stay with us, requesting you to stay with us. Shekhar sir, your take. Now, next in line, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, and importantly, Delhi.
Definitely, the message coming from Haryana is that if you really work hard on the ground, and do not get carried away by the narratives, and you keep on make the right choice in terms of candidates, in terms of programs, and project your achievements, whatever you have achieved in the last 10 years. And if you can do all that in a very, very systematic manner, and more importantly, if you work together, I think a big message that has come is Haryana, the BJP being the incumbent government, was facing a number of anti-incumbency issues, whether it was relating to the legislators or to the ministers. But we saw the BJP leadership stepping in. They changed the Chief Minister. Manohar Lal Khattar's tenure did see some big changes, some big decisions. But at the same time, the party thought it right that it was a time for a change, and they brought in Naib Saini, who was seen as somebody who has worked with Khattar, but at the same time, he brought a new style of functioning, which was well appreciated in different quarters. That is one thing. And second thing, I think, Shakal, we have to remember, there was a large narrative which focused on the consolidation of Jat votes behind the Congress. That obviously also realized in a counter-polarization where other communities who were earlier also with the BJP realizing that with so much of emphasis on the narrative that the Jats are together with the Congress, and the Congress the victory of the Congress will be a sort of a victory for the community. I think that also caused a kind of an atmosphere where the OBC votes, the Dalit votes thought it fit that they would stay with the BJP and its allies rather than make any shift. Yeah. And the other thing is, there were too many, I would say, rebels or too many independent candidates who were also clamoring for the same vote which the Congress was pursuing. So that has also realized in setbacks. You can see, for instance, the way the wrestler Vinesh Phogat has not been able to do well, even though the narrative was largely favoring her. But then at the local constituency level, she has faced challenge. So one can see that Haryana shows that one may get carried away by a dominating narrative. And that kind of a dominating narrative also affects your cadre. But if parties can not get carried away by the narrative and work hard on the ground, you can see a difference. And also, I think we would have to remember the fact that Dalit votes, particularly,
that has worked.
Yeah, that did not exactly was with the Congress, and also the fact that senior Dalit leaders in the Congress like Kumari Selja, they did not campaign till the last phase. And
so there was also a lot of talk about Mayawati's factor or Mayawati's influence. And interestingly, BSP partnering with INLD has drawn a blank. I mean, you look at, they were contesting on 51 and 35, and they're just leading on one, and that is INLD. BSP has not even opened its account, and so has Aam Aadmi Party, who decided to go solo. So there are many firsts, and Congress will have to stay out of power for the third consecutive term. A quick one, and then we move to Dibendu. Yes.
Yeah, you are right, Shakal. The point is, and so much of dependence on Bhupinder Hooda. He was the face of the Congress campaign. He was, all that was seen as the plus points of the Congress were seen as because of Bhupinder Hooda. But the fact that the other communities were feeling left out, I think that has affected the Congress performance in many constituencies.
Okay, BJP taking a clear lead. It's beyond lead, rather, on 50 seats, with Congress. Well, it seems that they are going to be continuing in the opposition seat with 34 seats, or leads in their kitty, leads on 34 seats with Aam Aadmi Party, JJP. Remember JJP, Dibendu, coming to you, JJP in fact partnered in 2019 with the BJP to form the government, but clearly a lot of water has passed under the bridge. But anyway, we need to wrap up this segment and move to other news. But Dibendu, a quick one from you on Jammu and Kashmir, since you covered all the phases there extensively. Now the focus shifts on the government formation. For the national conference, they seem to be pretty comfortable partnering with the Congress in terms of numbers, but it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out for the BJP in Jammu, and then how they bargain for the top positions, the CM and the Deputy CM, which traditionally has come from Jammu earlier, but we don't know what happens now.
Well, Sakal, that's right. The results for Jammu and Kashmir are much on the predicted lines, and it was expected that BJP will do exceedingly well in the Jammu region, while the NC as well as the Congress alliance will do well in the Kashmir Valley region. So this is what the results also is showing. And the PDP was, as expectedly, as I picked up from the ground as well, is being clearly wiped out in this election, also because of their policies and of their, soft separatism that they had been preaching in the valley. So, of course, it seems that their politics has been rejected completely by the people of Kashmir. They want to be included in the mainstream. They want to be included in the development that have been done in the valley over the last over the last 5 years. So of course, this is a mandate that perhaps gives an indication of what the people of Kashmir really wants, and the NC government along with the Congress alliance would is perhaps forming the government for sure as of now. But the BJP would be having much of a strength in the opposition, and will of course be one strong opposition in Jammu and Kashmir here, in fact, in the Jammu Kashmir Assembly. So of course, the bargaining power. But remember, this time around, Sakal, it's a union territory with the LG having much of a power.
Absolutely.
So of course, it's how the politics pans out from here on. It will be interesting to watch and keep all our eyes in the Kashmir Valley as well as in Jammu. And as soon as the government formation talks begins.
Yes, and let's have a quick one from Tahir, who has been tracking very, very closely Jammu region, joining us from Doda, which saw a very good voter turnout in all 3 phases. Tahir, so what are you picking up from your sources, particularly BJP showing in the Jammu region, which has been their bastion in that part, the Jammu region?
Well, Sakal, BJ is performing well. It is almost similar to that performance in 2014, because at that time BJP won 27 seats. This time they are leading in 26 seats. But Sakal, we should not forget one thing, that the more seats have been added this time, so they should have performed better. If we consider those additional seats. And as I said earlier, the stalwarts are not performing that well.
Yes.
The party, Jammu Kashmir Party President, he is trailing him from Naushara. Vice President is trailing from this Doda West constituency, and General Secretary of the party, Sunil Sharma, is trailing from this Padar Nagseni in Kishtwar district. In comparison to that, as I said, that newcomers, that first-timers, they are performing well. Be it
so, if you look at 43 seats in the Jammu region, how do you analyze BJP's showing? Okay, agreed, these are just the leads. So, the tally has gone a bit down for the BJP in Jammu?
Obviously, that has gone down because I think 7 seats have been added in this Jammu province. Post-delimitation. So, they should have performed better because they have taken 27 seats in 2014 and this time they are just ahead in 26 seats. That clearly shows the performance is not that well as compared to 2014 elections.
Okay, we'll see how these leads and losses are going to convert in big wins and big losses as well. But I need to thank Dibendu and Dibendu, thank you very much from BJP headquarters in Delhi. Tahir, thank you very much from Doda. We'll of course keep coming back to you after a short break. And Shekhar Iyer sir, such a pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you very much. We continue to track assembly elections results here in India. We take a short break. On the other side, let's take a quick look at the other lead stories that we are following for you on the other side. Stay with us.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Sakal Bhatt, and before we move on, let's do a quick recap of the headlines we're tracking for you at this hour. The Israeli military continues to strike the southern suburbs of Beirut and other locations in Lebanon. On Monday, Israel, within the space of an hour, carried out airstrikes on 120 targets in southern Lebanon, including against Radwan Special Forces units, Hezbollah's missile forces and the Intelligence Directorate. Hezbollah has not yet commented on the claims yet. It has also issued an evacuation warning in Lebanon for anyone near the coastline from the Awali River southwards. That river is about 30 kilometers from Beirut along the country's coastline. While Hezbollah fired rockets at Israel's third largest city, that's Haifa, Hamas also has targets Israel's commercial capital Tel Aviv with a missile salvo setting off sirens. Israeli military says that 190 projectiles had entered Israeli territory on Monday. There were at least 12 injuries reported. Meanwhile, Israel hosted an event in the United Nations on Monday to mark 1 year since a deadly Hamas attack. After the moment of silence, Israel's UN ambassador Danny Danon vowed to bring hostages back home. He also slammed the world body for failing to condemn the massacre. Also in attendance was US Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, who lashed out at the countries in the Security Council and outside who failed to condemn Hamas's atrocities or even say the word Hamas.
Your faces, your stories are forever etched into our hearts.
Now for 365 days.
The European Space Agency launched an asteroid probe mission on Monday to investigate the scene of a cosmic crash 2 years ago. The Hera asteroid probe blasted off from Florida in the US on a SpaceX rocket. It aims to inspect the damage done by US Space Agency NASA's spacecraft when it smashed into an asteroid during this first test of Earth's planetary defenses in 2022. The return visit to the The Morphos asteroid, 2 years after the historic collision, marks the latest step in efforts to see whether an incoming small asteroid could, if needed, be deflected from Earth to prevent potentially widespread damage. The mission is key to turning the kinetic impact into a technique that could help save Earth from incoming asteroids in the future. US state Florida is bracing for yet another deadly storm, now categorized at level 5. That's Hurricane Milton, which is explosively developing into a major storm. Already pounding Mexico beaches, Milton is all set to make landfall in Florida on Wednesday. We have a report.
After Helene, another hurricane is headed for battered Florida, and it is more powerful. Hurricane Milton is now a Category 5 storm. It is forecast to remain an extremely dangerous hurricane and will hit the US in the next couple of days. Milton is still likely to be a large and powerful hurricane. USA has issued watches across portions of Florida, and officials warn that many areas could be overwhelmed by life-threatening storm surge, flooding rain and damaging winds. Videos doing the rounds on media platforms showed waves barreling ashore and crushing into Celestine Beach as winds from the storm whipped the tops of palm trees during Hurricane Milton on Monday.
So basically, all hazards are in play here. A multi-hazard event, you really have to be thinking about significant widespread power outages for days where the Milton crosses the Florida Peninsula. Significant down trees, significant power outages, maybe the inability to move around for several days. I want to urge everyone, if you've been ordered to evacuate, those evacuations orders are serious and you absolutely must follow them.
Florida's storm-battered Gulf Coast is in a race against time. Category 5 hurricane is hurtling towards the US coast as workers scramble to sweep debris left over from Helene. Highways are already clogged with people acting on evacuation orders. Traffic was backed up on Florida highways as residents living in the Tampa area attempted to evacuate as Milton approaches. US Vice President Kamala Harris has asked the population of Florida to heed evacuation warnings as Hurricane Milton rapidly intensifies.
And I cannot stress enough to all the folks in Florida, in the Tampa area, please listen to evacuation orders. Please listen to your local officials, because I know a lot of folks out there have survived these hurricanes before. This one is going to be very, very serious. And I urge you to please just grab whatever you need. Listen to the orders you're getting from your local officials. They know what they're telling you, and they know what Milton is about to be. So please do that.
The Tampa Bay area, which has not been directly affected by a major hurricane in almost a century, may see the center of Hurricane Milton make landfall on Wednesday. Scientists expect it to decrease somewhat before landfall, which could essentially avoid other states devastated by Hurricane Helene, which killed at least 230 people. Antra Sinha for DD India.
The Indian Air Force celebrated its 92nd anniversary with a grand Air Force Day parade at the Tambaram Air Force Station. A special highlight of the celebration is the aerial display by the Surya Kiran and Sarang aerobatic teams and parade demonstrations that showcase the strength of Indian Air Force, who play a crucial role in humanitarian assistance, providing flood relief and conducting rescue operations abroad.
Now shift your gaze to the extreme right. Carries out a role in front of these as a salute. There she rolls.
Now a low-level aerobatics display in Air Force Day parade. Right wing over and carries to move further right. This time to the left, and there she goes. To hover and do a spot turn. If not, there is your chance. Such a lethal combination of firepower.
शक्ति विजय की देवियों एवं सज्जनों, अभी आप सबने to all the air warriors as we celebrate the 92nd बखूबी indigenization का प्रदर्शन करते हुए।
And with that, it's a wrap up on this edition of DD India News Hour. You can get all the latest news and updates on DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code that you see on your screens and download it. Let us also know your thoughts on the news of the day. Please connect with us on Facebook, on platform X. You can reach out to us on Instagram. You can also check our website, that is ddindia.co.in, and we will be back with more news as it breaks on